The world awaits a verdict on who will lead Israel. Hillary Clinton has a good chuckle at everybody's expense, but the most important matter at hand is the recent release of Season 3 of House of Cards on Netflix, and our next guest being the proud dad of a new character in the season. So let us welcome Sean Doyle's dad back to MidPoint, syndicated talker and one hell of a thespian himself, Jerry Doyle. How you been, Jerry?
What's going on, Ed? How are you?
See, there you go. The kid's making you look good in House of Cards, isn't he?
That's a great series.
Oh, I mean, God,
if you wrote that series and you submitted it to Hollywood about Washington, D.C., what would they say? That'd never happen.
Oh, no, that'll never happen.
It's happening.
You know, I tell you what, though, right? I got a lot of friends of mine who still work in and around the Beltway. They don't stand near trains anymore, just in case. You know.
Yeah, well, you know, the Beltway around Washington, D.C., the 495, I call the kryptonite of logic. Because inside the Beltway, 2 and 2 is whatever you want it to be. Outside the Beltway, the rest of us know it's 4. At least it was before I got on with you.
I lived inside the Beltway for a short time. You are exactly right, my friend. A couple of things. Let's get to this here. Aaron Schock, the Republican from Illinois, resigned in the last couple of hours here from Congress. This is the guy who had his own Downton Abbey salon, if you will, and spent a tremendous amount of money. What a shame. I mean, but this is just somebody who I think let it get to his head.
He said he's resigning with a heavy heart and a fat wallet. These are people that, you know, I guess it's like when you win the lottery, you don't know what to do with it, and they get to Washington, D.C., and all of a sudden they're rock stars, they're superstars, and everybody wants to take you to dinner. Everybody wants you to fly on their jet. Everybody wants you to go to their resort villa. Everybody wants you to be the man or the woman. And I understand to a certain degree how it can kind of play into people's heads a little bit. But he was denying right up until the time that he resigns. And good for him. Glad he's gone. And let's get the next lying, cheating SOB in Washington, D.C.
All right. Speaking of lying, cheating SOBs, I'll just make this easy. Government emails and the Freedom of Information Act. This caught a lot of people by surprise here, I think, just for the timing that it had, that the White House now says, no, we don't necessarily have to do that old Freedom of Information thing anymore.
Yeah, you mean the most transparent government in history, that one?
That's what we're told.
Yeah, that's what we're told. And it sounds good. We're also told it's all about the economy, and it's all about jobs, and it's all about middle-class jobs, and it's all about good-paying middle-class jobs. But, you know, we hear it, but we don't see it. This is them feeling that they're above the law, whether it's the president and this administration and this Congress going past the Constitution, overlooking the rule of law, rewriting the rule of law. And with regard to Obamacare and what the Supreme Court is going to rule, now they're saying that the term state, whether it was a state exchange or a federal exchange, that what they meant was, and you have to look at it in a certain way, that it was a term of art. The law is the law. Art is art, and art is short for Arthur. But now you got a bunch of these people in Washington, D.C. that are sitting around like they're at a gallery opening where they're looking at some crappy piece of art, which is a Venetian blind with tar and a broom stuck to it, and they're all clinking white wine glasses going, what do you think he was trying to say? What he's trying to say is you're an idiot if you buy this. That's what he's trying to say, but you can interpret it to be whatever you want. And when you start to interpret the law, words like shall and must, as to whatever it is you want it to be as a term of art, the rule of law starts to break down. And I think if I was them in Washington, D.C., I'd be a little concerned about when we start thinking the same way they do.
45 seconds left, my friend. It wasn't really very good for the Irish many years ago, was it, here on St. Paddy's Day? We have to remember, too, that the Irish were the dirty Irish in many ways when they came here.
The jobs were no Irish need apply. The tenement houses said no dogs, no Irish, and then everybody else. No, it was no Irish, and then it was no dogs. We were doggier than the dogs. And I'm not saying that it has to be harsh for every group that comes to this country, but everybody pays a price to win the lottery of the greatest nation in the world. You take the jobs you can get, you do the work you have to do, you work your way up, and if you take a look at where the Irish were and how they were thought of, to the fact that not long thereafter, John F. Kennedy, an Irish Catholic, was the president of the United States, I'd have to think that the past may not necessarily be your path to the future. But if you choose to make it the past, you'll stay in the past.
Well put, my friend. Just don't have any green beer, because real Irishmen do not drink green beer. We know that.
No, and the true color of St. Paddy's Day, by the way, is blue.
Blue.
And I'm gonna cover that on my show today, yes.
Attaboy. Good doing you. Jerry Doyle, always a pleasure to have you on the show, my friend. We'll catch up with you again soon.
Mine too. Thank you, sir.
Take care, buddy. Only a son of the old sod can set the record straight on this St. Patrick's Day. I'm about to do that when we come back right here on MidPoint.